Yo. Welcome back to the Nas Lounge. I'm just gonna put a disclaimer out there. All these episodes were filmed in the same day. Just so y'all can't say I got the same clothes on, bro. Y'all not gonna do me like that. Y'all not gonna do me like that, man. I promise y'all. But today, man, we are bringing back our artist spotlight interviews, and I have a very special guest. I'm gonna introduce him.
Hi, everybody. My name is Drizo. I am a underground artist from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, based in Chicago right now, and can't wait to get going in this interview.
Man, welcome. Hey, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank
You
you.
know what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate
It's a
that.
pleasure to have you. You are the first artist spotlight interview that I had that I didn't know personally.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying,
that's
getting
crazy.
to know you, like it's a big accomplishment for me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when I do these, my goal has always been when I do these is to be able to say that I gave somebody their first interview, or I gave somebody their first, you know what I'm saying, or I gave them one of their first interviews as an artist. So usually when we do these artist spotlights, we like to start at the beginning.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying. Do you have like? I would like for you to talk about your background in music,
Okay.
or and just your connection to music overall.
Okay. I just wanted to say before we get into everything, I just want to say big thank you to you. I know you just started, so to be doing this together, incredible opportunity. I'm very grateful, and big shout out to all the different people who I will get into at the end of the interview. But y'all know who y'all are, and we'll get to that. But so my music introduction. So I've always been into music since I was like 5, maybe 4, and a lot of my friends, Sham God Supreme, he's a big DJ back in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We basically, kind of came into it together. He started making beats, and this is when we was in high school. So like what I have now, I ain't have it then.
Right,
But
right,
the itch was there. So that kind of transpired, and then throughout high school, even middle school, I always loved music. One of my biggest artists in my life is Kendrick Lamar. So when Kendrick first hit the scene,
yeah, big K Dot fan.
some of those who know the Look Out for Detox with Dr. Dre, some of the unreleased songs. So I found out about him, and I really started to really dive into it. So he was one of the main people, J. Cole, and then Travis Scott. Because I always loved with Travis Scott's music, the transcendenceness,
Yes.
the ability to put a concept together and have great storytelling in his own way. But so that was the people who started kind of the itch for it. And then I went to college. I had when I was in high school, I ran track. So I went to state 4 different times. I had an opportunity to go to a D2 college in Kenosha. This is where this music journey basically starts. My friend got murdered while I was in college. RIP to Austin. That's my dog. It's crazy as time goes on. The biggest thing that starts to kind of affect you is you don't hear their voice anymore. I'll see a picture, but I don't remember his voice. So, it basically started the journey into where I'm at now, and it's been 6 years. So that was like 2019, 2020, and I've from that moment forward, it basically was this is what I live, breathe, eat, and willing to even put my life on the line for. So
Facts. Well, I definitely want to say I'm happy that you found something that you're passionate about on that level, because when it comes to music, we always hear everybody say, yeah, I rap, I sing.
Yep.
But the passion for the long haul of music and what we know the music industry to be isn't really there.
100%.
It's just, I'm gonna put a few songs out, especially when it start early. Like high school, middle school, especially when it start around that time.
Not
Everybody's
as serious.
It's not as serious. And then even if it does grow to be a little bit serious, nobody really has the patience to like go through the ebbs and flows of
The
what music
wherewithal.
is. Right. So, in order to get to know the artist a little better, I have this question that I ask everybody, because I feel like everybody in their life has that one song that inspired them to do music, or that one song that when they hear it, they're like, this is the song. This is the song. And what is that song for you?
Armed and Dangerous by Juice WRLD.
Really?
Yes, because as much as Kendrick, Cole, and Travis Scott, and there's tons of many artists who underground, not known, that I really listen to. But after my friend got murdered, Juice World basically became like that's my, like, he's not here obviously, but that's like
Right.
my mentor. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you know, Armed and Dangerous, because I'll never forget my ex-girlfriend at the time. I don't know if you're watching this, but you kind of remember this. But Juice World had dropped Armed and Dangerous at that time. And he was already kind of
Yeah.
moving up, because I remember being at UW Parkside, and Sean Rigsby, if you're watching this, I still remember he played the first Juice WRLD song I ever heard. It was Autograph, and that was like that was different. I had never heard anything like that before. But Armed and Dangerous always sticks with me because it was just the feeling I got from his music. It was just like real bubbly energy, you know what I'm saying? And very authentic. And I just, from that moment forward, when he passed, I wasn't even really like, I'm not gonna make it like I was the biggest fan in the world. But after he passed and I was getting
Right.
deeper into my music, I really started, and I've had the opportunity to be in certain spaces. I found out certain things about him that a lot of people probably don't know. So, he was a great, great big catalyst for where I'm at to right now. Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people, especially like around our age, say that about Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD, held a special place in a lot of people's hearts, especially the way his music touched people.
Yes.
So, what I'm saying, I'm surprised by that answer because usually people go a little bit further back towards when they were a kid when I asked him that. But I'm not surprised by that answer because of the impact that I know he's had on artists.
Oh yeah, and I'm a music just guy. I mean, like, to get my skills to where I have, of course, I studied Juice, but I studied X. I studied Johnny Cash. I studied Kurt Cobain. I studied Jimi Hendrix. My uncle who's over here, we listen to all kinds of different music, old, new, everything. So he knows, like, he's put me on to certain things that have allowed me to have almost like a knowledge base when it comes to music. But with Juice WRLD, for our generation, and as a black man, you know, emotions are really not our forte.
Right. It's not.
As some people might say. And with, Juice WRLD, I'm willing to be open and honest. I've had my own mental health struggles. I've had to be hospitalized a couple different times. So to anybody watching this, and if not just my music, but people who can understand, Juice really like spoke to certain things that made me want to do on my music those same things, So I'm internally grateful to just even be able to do what I do, but also hear music the way I do, because I feel like Juice gave, us black men who, if you grew up in the hood, or, some of us were from the burbs, he gave you somebody you like, yeah, I can relate to that, So,
yeah, and definitely that's one of the things I also want to touch on is that, that vault of music. Like you said, you studied a lot of different people, like Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash.
But God's gonna cut you down,
man.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
love, what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of people that I listen to, and there's a lot of different artists I listen to. I listen to a lot of rock music.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I want to get more and more in the country, and you know what I'm saying, in jazz and blues music, like all of these different sounds and what you're listening for, that not a lot of people that want to be artists, they don't really branch out.
Excuse me. Yep.
They don't really branch out and learn more. And that even leads me to my next question, which is, with the way music is right now, because I personally feel like music is in a weird space where, at least the type of music that we listen to in our culture is in a weird space, because I believe we're swinging back around to wanting more substance in our music.
Yes, and that is 100%
I believe
true.
a few years ago, if you could get the right person on your song would be big. But I believe now we are kind of getting back to an era where that's playing out, and we're wanting to see more talent from our artists. And to me, that leaves the door open for anybody to come in and take it,
Yep.
So my question to you is, as an emerging artist, where do you see yourself sliding into that right now? Because right now I feel like the top spot is open. I feel like all it takes is a few songs and some consistency, and to, what I'm saying, hit the right buttons, and anybody can ascend right now. So as an artist, where do you see yourself in that mix, and what do you think is something that you want to like? What do you think is something that you want to either improve upon,
Mm.
or something that you want to like put out there about yourself and your music that you feel like a new fan should gravitate to?
Well, to the point of what you were starting about with with the substance of music.
Mm.
I had the benefit of, my old crew, and to speak on them real quick, grateful, unfortunate how things went, but we all grew together and moved in to where we are now. So
Mm.
that's just my little bit about that. But I had the benefit of, I learned how to songwrite.
Mm.
And 4-bar hooks, 8-bar hooks,
Right.
12-bar hooks, 12-bar hook, including a bridge. A lot of that is lost nowadays. So
The bridge is definitely lost. I've talked about that on here before.
the bridge,
The bridge is long gone.
they get to a bridge, they be like,
Yeah,
huh?
the bridge is
Yeah.
long gone.
So, with me seeing that and seeing how, for example, there's this group chat I'm in where there's artists from Arizona to Milwaukee to Chicago to other different places. One time I went in the group chat, the artists were basically saying they don't write their lyrics. They use AI generation to generate the
like
lyrics.
ChatGPT.
Might be a little, might be an app or something.
Right,
You know? So, with seeing all these different things and coming across the different artists I've worked with, for me, I feel like, as you said, it's for the taking right now. I've honestly felt for the last 3 years, it's really for the taking because, as you said, there's nobody with really substance, but I also say authentic, being authentic, to the point of what you were saying, what I want my artists, or not artists, my bad, fans to hear next and listeners. Well, we're 9 projects in. So a lot of them have heard a lot of the different experiences and different things I've went through. And, I've had different people tell me, DM me, text me, different things. They said, this music that you've dropped now is great, but it just seems like you're very like sad or very, consumed by certain things. And then other people are like, you're more lit stuff. I like that. So, this next stage, I want for this next coming album in September. It's called Outsiders. It's a homage project to Juice World. One of his unreleased projects he was working on before he died was called Outsiders.
Right.
So, I've heard it week after week, month after month, year after year. I've been told I sound like Juice World plenty of times, and I appreciate it, but I know at the end of the day, I'm me. But with this project, I want to give, my fans this last little chapter of all the healing, all the pain, and the dark nights of working on myself. This is over.
Right.
And with Outsiders, this is the closing chapter of, the version of who is trying to heal through these different projects, singles, different things they've heard. So I'm incredibly excited for my fans to hear this, but I'm also excited for me and, my family. A lot of people don't know, some people do know. This music journey is not easy, and I give a lot of credit to my family because they stuck with me through certain things and certain situations where, a lot of families, it could have broke them apart.
Right.
So I'm eternally grateful and happy for them to hear this next stage of my music.
And that's what's up. I definitely will be tuning in.
Thank you.
I also want to say, because I relate, you know what I'm saying? Because same thing with media.
Mhm.
I have a goal of being in media. I like to write. I like to direct. I want to learn how to direct. I like to do
too.
camera
Yeah.
stuff. So it's a grind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of no's before it's yeses. It's a
Yeah.
lot of quitting before it's
A lot of doubt.
right. It's a lot of doubt. It's you're gonna hate it before you love it. You know what I'm
Exactly. You're
saying?
right about that.
So I definitely understand the grind that you're talking about. And before we get out of here, I definitely want to touch on 2 things. Obviously I want you to get your closing statements about your music, and promote yourself and put your socials and stuff out there. But you did mention to me that you work with kids.
Yes.
And I work with kids as well. Shout out to Mike, because
Yeah.
if I don't shout him out, I'm gonna hear about it. So shout out to Mike.
Hey, I was gonna shout you out at the end. He beat me
who put
to
us
it,
in
gang.
contact, but I'm gonna give him a shout out too, because he asked. He gonna be looking for me to do it. So shout out to Mike. But working with kids and doing music is an interesting, like,
Intertwined.
Yes, it's an interesting thing to intertwine. And real quick, I want you to touch on where do you feel like the music industry and the impact that it's having on these kids, where do you feel like you as somebody who's seen both sides and
Mhm.
who will have seen both sides so deeply, where do you feel like you can bring a different type of vibe and energy to them?
This is a great question because, you know, as an artist who's been in a lot of different scenes working with different artists, the biggest thing out of all the artists I've worked with and versus me, I'm willing to speak about certain issues.
Mm,
I'm willing to talk directly to the kids more. So, you know, with me working with kids, I was a counselor in Milwaukee for about 2 years.
mm.
And it is it's incredibly sad if we're gonna be just honest and
Yes,
uncut.
it is.
You know, I'm not gonna get to specific sections of kids in this instance I'm about to talk about, but overall, the music that us as artists, whether you're industry, underground, local, we got to do a better job.
Yes.
I think you know, we have allowed a certain environment society wise where kids are saying things and seeing things in these music videos or in these songs that they have not one clue what it's really about. And then
Mm,
they'll repeat it, reenact it, and then it turns into what we see on the news, whether you live in
yeah.
Chicago, LA, wherever. And it's really sad. And then two,
Repeat, reenact, and now they think they living. So
that
all of
part,
that,
that part.
So
And you know, where I feel like I come in is, you know, most recently at the job where me and Car met, the kids didn't know I made music at first.
mm,
When I was a counselor, I let the kids know out the gate, you know, I made music. But the kids who were listening to my music towards the end of the year and they found out who I was, they literally were like, "You're better than everybody in the game right now." I was like, "Why do you say that?" Because we know you're telling the truth.
mm,
I feel like a lot of artists nowadays, they are trying to live to a certain perception, a certain standard that everybody else wants them to.
mm,
And I feel like it causes people to say things that may not be completely true to them. In my music, everything, it might be over exaggerated to really get the point across, but you can ask me or people who are around in that situation. It happened verbatim, exactly how I might have said it. So with these kids, they hear what I'm saying, whether it was about, you know, something in the streets, or whether it was something about me personally, or whether it was something about a friend or anything. And I see that it resonates with them deeply because, you know, they're hearing no shade to Sexy Red or Cardi or anybody. I love, you know, seeing y'all at where y'all at. But I also have to be real. You guys have said certain things and put out certain energy because music is energy always
mm.
that has allowed for a certain environment where these kids are way more advanced and, as you know, the black community says, fast than pretty much every generation before them.
Right.
So I feel like it's my duty as the artist I am to speak realness to these kids. And
Mhm.
sometimes realness, it doesn't come out how we want it, which is, you know, all cute and coddly. So, you know, I just pride myself on being authentic. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
And as we wrap it up,
Mhm.
I definitely want to say you will be back on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely got to want to get a deeper dive into your music
Mhm.
for sure,
Mhm.
and definitely want to get a deeper dive into you as a person and as an artist.
Thank you.
But
Mhm.
I would definitely want to say continue to grind, continue to be on your journey, continue to do what you are doing because that's all we can do.
Mhm.
You have a goal and you seem very passionate about that goal. So I want to be the first to, what I'm saying, be like, hey, go achieve it, because
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying, I want to see you achieve
I
it,
appreciate that greatly.
because to me you really mean that you want it,
Mhm.
and it ain't just saying that, hey, I make music. It's not, I live my music.
Yes.
I am my music. My music is a part of me.
Yep.
But definitely let the fans know what you got coming up
Mhm.
next. Any shows, upcoming music, any recently released music,
Okay.
and let them know your socials.
Okay, for sure. So, to the fans, to everybody watching, to his, you know, audience, you can find me on Spotify, Apple, the whole nine, Drizzle, all platforms. It's the same on social media, everything you could think of. I am on there, same handle. I have 256 unreleased songs, And with these 256 songs, we have, I think, 4 projects coming out this year. Outsiders is in September. We have an EP coming in November. And then we have Pain, Passion, and Talent, which will be a New Year's project. My recent drop, K Like a Russian, came out the 26th. You can find that on all platforms. And stay tuned. There is a lot of music videos, as you can see the interview today that we just finished coming. Show the 29th this Sunday. I have a show for my birthday, which is on Monday. So if you guys want to come out, pop out.
Hey, happy early birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. 26. So yeah, and then I just want to give my gratitude and flowers to these few people. Sincerely O2. Bro, we grew up on the same cul-de-sac together. We done came a long way. Zizan, you was with me when I was in Milwaukee and I was living off the couch, and you was giving me words, and even sometimes you send me a few dollars to go get a couple raps. So I appreciate you, bro. I want to give a big shout out to Datrix. Man, bro, when things fell the way they did and I almost quit music, you was the main person getting me up to just go and get up and go. So to be at this point, bro, you deserve so much more credit than I think people give you. I want to give a shout out to 3 Times. Congratulations on beating what you were going against and coming out on top. Bro, you are a huge reason why not just me, but plenty of people are even in the position they are. And I feel like you need to get your credit and just do. And I want to give a shout out to Carr. Man, I came into Churchill, wasn't sure where I was going with my music at the time. And I started showing you my music, and you introduced me to your friend, and now we here. So thank you so much. And anybody I'm missing, I love you to death. So that's about what you're going to get from me. So, yeah. Yep.
Man, and that's a great way to end it. That's a great way to close it out. As always, it's been great. It's been a great episode of Naj Lounge. Appreciate you for coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Coming on the show. This has been another edition of Artist Spotlight. He will be back. All his socials will be in the description.
Yes,
don't forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe. This has been another beautiful edition of the Naj Lounge. We out.
Show some love.
I feel so deep. I dream of you with me. Like a tech can fix this thing.